Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
5 brain cells, 4 aren't working.
What's going on, freaks? Hey, it looks like we got another statement by Savannah Guthrie, the daughter of Nancy. And also the NBC Today, one of the NBC Today show hosts, whose mother Nancy is missing, and the deadline is rapidly approaching. Man, what a stressful time trying to even get this damn show going. I mean, it was amazing. StreamYard somehow put the wrong stuff on the screen, and I was gonna go with StreamYard so we could have people call in, but unfortunately, that wasn't working at all. So. I had to come over and stream again from OBS Studio, and thought I'd come on because there is a new statement by Savannah. Now this one seems to be a little bit contradictory to the last one that was released. It seemed absolutely ominous the way it was written, etc. But like we said, we don't know. We're just trying to interpret different things. So here we go. We're listening to this one right now. Here we go.
Of this nightmare.
Let me go to the beginning of it. It's right there.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that we have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers, and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there.
Yeah, so I think they realize the tone and what their other message. I don't know. You know, it's hard to know what they're being told to say. Still out there. What does that mean? I've heard that a million times so far in this case. Still out there. See, again, it's never. Why not say we believe our mom is still alive? You know, that's never been said in these statements. The sheriff kind of said that one time, but he also would say, still out there, right?
We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
Yeah, and so it's just, you can see she's upset and everything, but I'm still not sure. They're making it sort of alluding to the possibility that she's still alive out there. But still, they say she's still out there. You know, whatever that means, you know. Yeah, it just sucks. But apparently here in the next, I think in 2 hours, let's see, be 5 miles, so about 3 hours from that. Well, let's see. Isn't it 5 o'clock? What's the deadline? Isn't it 5 o'clock? Let's see. What is the deadline for... Jeez. Man, this has just been... I had the precise time. It was something like 4... I think it's like... You think it's 2 hours and 15 minutes? So 4 o'clock is what the time is in Arizona? And 5... I guess if it was 4 in Arizona, it would be 5... Well, we're ahead of Arizona. Let's see. So, no, we're behind. So if it's 4, it have to be 4 o'clock my time. Okay, so yeah, 2 hours and 15 minutes. 10 minutes. So 2 hours and 10 minutes. Yeah, I already looked all this up. Hey, wow, there's Truth Sleuth finally showing up to one of the shows. Amazing. Thanks. Yikes. All right, let's see. No, Arizona is... I know, we know where it is. Yeah, I just said that. It's an hour... It's an hour ahead over there. So if it's 5 there, then maybe 4 here. And that would make it 2 hours and 10 minutes. That's just that's not code for anything. That's just, you know, saying in our hour of need. You know, it just means this is the time of need. You know, or when people say this hour of need or this hour of, that's how she was using it. It wasn't code for anything. All right, let's just play it again.
Hi there, everybody. I wanted to come on and just share a few thoughts as we enter into another week of this nightmare. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all of the prayers and the love that
exactly. She's still out there.
We have felt, my sister and brother and I, and that our mom has felt. Because we believe that somehow, some way, she is feeling these prayers and that God is lifting her even in this moment and in this darkest place. We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home.
I wonder if this is an attempt to kind of reverse the sentiment that they put out in the last one, because sometimes when people think that you think somebody's not alive, they're not as interested anymore. You know, that's what they think. So then it's like you got to put that back into the narrative.
Trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. And we need your help.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation.
Yeah, like an hour of need. I mean, sure, there's only 2.5 hours, 3 hours left when she put that out there, but at the same time, that's a common phrase people use. This is our hour of desperation, our hour of need, our hour of, just a phrase. But, when I first heard it, I thought, ooh, maybe, and then I go, no, that's just a common term. But hey, guys, this is another show. So if you're watching, if you want to buy some channel memberships for other people or get some, help support the channel somehow, that would be great. It's the same as any other show, even though it's earlier. I don't know if you guys want to stay on until we get to that hour, and that hour's up. I don't know. I mean, that's what sucks not having. I wonder if I could do something. We could do an experiment. What if I open up StreamYard and then did like you go to like the recording session, and then maybe somebody wants to test it out. You can try calling in and giving me your thoughts. Yeah, okay. So I'm in there, and I'm just sort of wondering. Let's see. I'm not sure if it'll start echoing or some weird crap. Yeah, that's the thing I guess we'd have to experiment with, but maybe we could do something where I share. Yeah, right there. So maybe somebody wants to call over here and we can just like test it out and see if it works. All right. Hey, thanks, Self-Esteem. All right, so here is the StreamYard link, and I just want to see if we can hear the audio. I probably have to turn off. You can still hear me now, but let's see, testing. Oh, I'm really low audio. I can see that. Let me get that back up. Sound setting. There it is. Yeah. They got me down to 67%. Now it should be back up to normal. Testing 1, 2, 3. Now they got me on the StreamYard is just crazy like that. Okay, setting. I have it on. So if I put on echo cancellation. See, I'm not sure how this is going to work. I think I can hear the person though, and I guess we'll just see how that works. But why doesn't somebody try that link out and see if we can get audio working even when I'm using Streamlabs and not StreamYard? Because Bitcoin information, they're not the only ones that are privy to Bitcoin. Every single person who got that original email has the Bitcoin information. TMZ's just sort of, for lack of a better term, they've abused they got this information that shouldn't have been shared, really, and they're doing stuff with it. Yeah. Well, I guess nobody's trying it. Anybody going to try it? Hello? We just need somebody to test it out. It's right there. Let's pin this to the... Pinning the message to the top. There you go. So we just need somebody to try it out. It's not too difficult. Doesn't look like a lot of people got notifications for my show today. It seems like that's the norm. I'm trying to see if the audio, if we can somehow take calls using StreamYard link up there, because I wasn't able to use StreamYard. It had just wasn't working earlier. It's crazy. Hello. My God, you guys are just, I don't know. Maybe everybody would just rather watch Fox News. I'll just take off. Now let's play the one from yesterday first, and then this one.
We received your message, and we understand. We beg you now.
To tell us where. Right.
We received your message,
Hey, look at that. Let's see. So there's somebody. Oh, there's two different people. Let me try one of them. Here, hold on 1 second. Okay, can you hear me? Are you able to hear me? Okay, and then can you guys hear her out there, you guys? Yeah, I'm on. I want to test to see if people can hear you out on this. Can you hear her though talking? Okay, she's saying hello, everyone. Okay, so they're saying that they can only hear me. So let's see if we can figure out. All right, say it. I know I'm probably going to be echoey now, right? So say it again.
Hello, everyone.
Could you hear that? Where she said hello, everyone? That time? I'm just making sure. Okay, so it looks like they could hear you if I'm using the system audio on here. But I must sound echoey to you, right?
No, perfect.
Oh, really? Okay. So I guess that works. All right.
Yeah, it's a great tool.
Wow,
Thank you,
so-
Greg.
Hey, do you have any thoughts on
Awesome.
this? Or are you just doing the test?
I'm just waiting because we're all having all these perceivement or something about the Tommaso and too many perceivements that may be incorrect.
Yeah,
And
except
I'm
they were
sure
over
that
there.
the police may know more.
Yeah, except
than we know.
they were over there
Yeah,
taking
it's
pictures,
crazy.
you know. So that's interesting.
Yes, so I feel they know more than we know.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for calling
Thank
over and
you,
doing
Greg.
the
Thank you
testing.
for-
I'll bring this John on and see if his works too. All right, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, we got John on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you well.
Awesome. Yeah. So now it looks like it's working now. So you have any thoughts on this?
It's been real interesting them going to Annie's house and then back to Nancy's house. Seems to be one after the other. I don't really have any. I really don't. It's hard for it's kind of confusing. Tommaso does. He is in a band, and so there were other people that are close to him that kind of, could have been
Right.
involved in some way, but it's too early to tell.
Pretty crazy case though so far. It's hard
Yeah.
to really just go boom 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 boom. Every time you pick something, you find something. There's some contradictory piece of information. Seems
Right.
like. It's been a little bit frustrating like that, but
Well, no, and I mean, you've been a great help. I mean, in terms of just telling us to, don't even think in that direction, or, just really keeping us grounded.
that's what I try to do. Because I mean, I would go nuts too if I just had to continually entertain conspiracies and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's for me, it's just a total waste of time. I mean, like I said, it's like 1 in a million. One of the conspiracy turns out to be true, but is that how often you want to be onto the right path?
Yeah.
So, anyways, well, hey, thanks for calling in. Do you have any
You
other
bet. No problem.
any other thoughts, or I didn't mean to?
Well, I mean, obviously, this is a definitive time, and I really, really don't want to add anything, and just let you get back to what you do.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, you bet.
Have a good one. That was John there. So that was cool. So it does work. I might be my audio is probably pretty low though, because that's how StreamYard does it. Maybe if I boost up, maybe I don't know, put that on there. Does that work? Testing? Nah, they just keep moderating it. I don't know. Hopefully it works. Man, you guys are dead as a doornail. We need the support for the channel to go. We're doing a live stream here. This is how we survive on YouTube. So let's see if we can get some channel memberships, gifted memberships, whatever the hell it is. I would appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, so he was loud, and I'm not that loud though, right, on here? I think mine's apparently it should be pretty quiet. I mean, I don't want it to be. It's minus. It should be minus 10, but it's like minus 15 to 20, which is lower. It's not a bandwagon, Sherry. It's just common sense. They're over there taking photographs in the dark inside the house. It's not a bandwagon. Just, it seems like the most logical thing. Let's see. Hey, thanks, Elaine Talling. Inspector of Gadgetry. That must be the guy. He said, I used to be in radio. I'm naturally loud. I must be John then. What do you think will happen with this? I don't know. You know? I mean, everybody hopes that Nancy's still alive and all of that. And we all hope that Annie's husband or, you know, there's no involvement at all with a family member and it's just some random person out there. But, you know, we have Ashley Banfield had her source. I don't think she's backtracked on any of that. And then they were out there just yesterday or the day before inside their house taking tons of photographs for hours, you know. So why would you do that? There's a reason. You kind of wonder if they put something in there, like some of the blue star or something in one of the rooms, because I don't know what they were doing. All I know is there was flashes. It seemed to be some of it was at nighttime. A lot of times you want it to be dark to take pictures of blue star or luminol results. So I don't know. I mean, you know, it could turn out to be wrong. I mean, that's what we should hope is that stuff isn't true, because that's really a bad situation. Hey, thanks. Top secret to you. Your top secret to me? All right, I'll keep it secret. Let's see, we had up here we had self-esteem. Does it not show up in there? Oh yeah. Hold on. Forgot to get this set up correctly. The screen's going to go dark for a second. So don't worry about it. Gray. Your screen went dark. Okay, there you go. Now it works. That one and top secret to you. Very cool. All right. So I think this one had a totally ominous sound to it. And in fact, I think that they seemed to get news that she wasn't alive at all. I mean, it's just, that's the only way I could take that last message that they put out. And that they just wanted her body back so they could have peace while they celebrate her life with her body there, so they could bury her in peace. And they're willing to pay for that. Okay? And then today's one seems to sort of dial it back a little bit to add a little bit of hope for the people, I think almost intentionally. You know, trying to get more, you know, more people are, if you think somebody's alive and they're missing, it probably motivates more people to, you know, interact and look and keep your eye out than if you believe. I mean, that's kind of a key right there. You know, more people are going to keep their eye out and looking around for the possibility of somebody being alive. And if you think that she's not alive, you're not going to be looking anymore. You're just sort of doing your day-to-day thing, and you're not thinking about that. You're just thinking about the situation. So it could be today's message was an attempt to sort of reverse the sentiment that they seem to portray in the last video. What do you guys think of that? Yeah, I mean, she could have been. That's something we talked about when we talked about Russell Derman in this one, where it says, in my opinion, Nancy herself was evidence that had to be taken. Right. I mean, we've talked about how maybe in the Russell and Shirley Derman, they took his head because maybe they shot him in the head, or they thought however they killed him could identify them, so they took his head. In this case, maybe she was killed inside the house and they didn't want to be identified, and she was taken. I mean, that's so unusual, though. You know, very unusual. I mean, if there was a sexual assault, I could see that, where somebody would take the body because you've left something. You know, she definitely would have been a crime scene, and then you can be identified. But it seems likely to me that she was killed because, I mean, that's where the whole crux of the case is. You know, was she killed inside the house and was never alive because she knew who one of the people were? You know, she actually recognized one of them, and that would mean necessarily that you couldn't leave that person alive, because if you ever turned them in again, they would say something. You know? She would say something. She would say, hey, it was, you know, Jim over there. I know him. He was there. So you couldn't do that. So you'd have to kill him. But if you wanted to get a ransom, that means there was never really a ransom if there was somebody there that she recognized. A ransom was never going to happen for a live Nancy. It was never going to happen. Okay? So at this point, it seemed like in this video that we're looking at the screen right now that they were just wanting to get her body back, and that would be something that would create peace for them, knowing that, you know, they can say goodbye, etc. I just don't think this is some crazy, you know, cartel, these other people that are just so dialed into crypto, and they just, man, they're high tech. They're really trying to oversell this kind of stuff on YouTube. Like it's just this highly educated finance group of people that are behind all this, and it doesn't have to be that at all. So let me just, I'm going to say this one again, exactly how I hear it, even though they're not the words said. So that's where there could be a problem. I'm interpreting, though, based on everything. Like, look at her over here. Look at Annie, for example. Right here, watch.
We received your message, and we understand.
Yeah, we understand. We received your message, and we understand that she's not alive.
We beg you now to return our mother to us.
We beg you now to give us information so that we can return our mother's body to us.
So that we can celebrate with her.
So that we can celebrate with her, meaning we can celebrate her life, and she's here, and we can, you know, bury her and celebrate her life with her body here, instead of like just thinking somebody's missing and we do a celebration of life.
This is the only way we will have peace.
And this is the only way that we'll have peace, which is an absolute known thing, that when you have a family with a missing person in it, you never have peace. But if you receive even their bodies found at some point, you are able to have peace again at some point. But when there's a missing person, you almost never have peace again. Every day you wake up, you're wondering.
This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
Right, so it's like that, having the peace, which is the result of getting our mother's body back, is very valuable to us, and we will pay. All right, and then today, completely, you know, not completely, but sort of shifted a little bit, giving people the idea that maybe, you know, she's still, quote, out there. Of course, live or dead, she's still out there, right? Thanks, April Star. They aren't sold on the ransom. Yeah, I don't know how you pay a ransom without proof of something. If she was alive, I would absolutely see a ransom being given. However, if she knew, even if she was alive and knew who one of her kidnappers was, it's just that there's no way they would turn her in. Okay, so that's why I thought this was a hired kidnapping for ransom maneuver by a family member for inheritance or possibly even the ransom of some sort. But they weren't there, you see, like they were behind it and were sort of in the background, etc., but they weren't visible to Nancy. That's what I was thinking. And I don't know if that's still not a possibility or not. There's just so little information here. Oh, there's somebody right here. Hey, we got Joseph here. What's going on?
Hey, Gray, how are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Not too bad. Nobody can see you or anything, but at least we have a voice.
All right, that's good.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I commented this on one of your recent videos on this, the FBI's behavioral, analysis unit, I think, is writing all of these messages. Probably the last one, and of course, you probably heard about the Silence of the Lambs, exact verbatim. Talk to her and you will see, which was interesting. Man, I don't know what to make of this. This is crazy because who would send in ransom demands to TMZ or other media stations? A lot of it doesn't line up, which makes me think that it might be a diversion of sorts.
Right. Yep.
I want to ask you, Gray, what type of assets do you think her mom has, really?
Well, you would think that Savannah may have given, let's say Savannah isn't willing to help her sister out or what, let's just throw it out there. Sister, or give money to them, but obviously she's going to help her mom, so her mom has different things, and I guess I don't really know exactly what she had. I mean, sometimes I do think it could be a red herring, the whole ransom portion, that they're using that to head fake, so they're doing something else. But I mean, it becomes weird because you can even think of a scenario where it's almost like a pyromaniac, the guys that burn buildings and then want to go watch the reaction.
The carnage, yeah.
Yeah, so they do this, and then they send letters to all the big newspapers to make it a really big story, and they're just sitting there watching. Look at all this that I've created, And then who's that person? Is that a family member? Or that doesn't sound like that at that point. It sounds like some psycho, serial killer nut job that's just out there,
Right. And I remember seeing an interview, I believe it was Brian Enton did it, with one of the neighbors that either walked their dog past their house and saw Nancy semi-frequently. They didn't even know she was Savannah's daughter or a mother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that really makes you think, like, it has to be someone semi-close to her.
It seemed like they were really aware of everything, like where the cameras might be, the floodlights. I mean, I don't know how difficult it would be to notice that there's a camera at the front door. Maybe they didn't notice another one inside or out in the back, because that might be the one that picked up the motion and they weren't aware of it. Because it just picked up a motion, but there's no video.
And of course, the 40 minutes inside is mind-blowing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't figure out what the hell they were doing. Like, did the mother say, hey, I need my meds? Did they take 2 or 3 pills out of the jar? Out of the pill bottle? You know what I mean?
It wouldn't take that long to take 3 pill bottles out either. I mean, so
No,
you
no,
know.
I know it wouldn't take that long, but I'm saying, like, is that something that, like, was discussed during the 40 minutes?
Yeah,
I don't know. This whole case is just absolutely mind blowing, man. It's,
it is. I don't think we've ever had anything quite like it in recent times. I'm sure back in the day with some of the other kidnappings, it was similar. This one is. It's frustrating for me because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of. We got that nice little timeline, but some of the information we haven't had any clarification. You know, like the church stuff. There seems to be information somebody sent me where you have when the church services are going. It's on YouTube, right? So people on the right, just like on my show right now, are typing. They're typing in comments, just exactly the same as my show right now. And perhaps Nancy would always show up in there without fail. She would always type over there, and then somebody in the chat was like, "Hey, calling a family member saying, hey, she never showed up. She's always here." Right? So maybe that's exactly what that was.
But Gray, was it really confirmed? Because I know you were kind of going back and forth on this.
Yeah. Well, somebody sent me screenshots of their actual the church's services, and then people chatting on the side. I've seen that. So there literally is people doing that now. Did she go to? Is that really the church she went to? Did she always go there? Sometimes she goes to another one.
Right, but is there no in-person service? I mean, this is 2026. We're a long way from COVID.
Yeah, maybe she got used to it. You know how people work at home now when they didn't work at home before, and everybody just kept doing that. Yeah. What was the other thing? It said that. I'd have to see it. It was Brian Enton and Megan Kelly. They had a little bit of a video. I guess I could play that a little bit and see what it said. It was something. It was absolutely related to that. What we were just talking about, the church. So that might give us some answers. He seemed to get answers.
Yeah, because I mean, all the churches, and I live like near New York, although. Right now I'm in Italy for the month, ironically, but everything is it's not virtual anymore, and I've never even heard of a virtual church service, especially if you think in like a southern, more conservative state, right? I mean, maybe there's an option. It's weird. It's everything about this case just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and there's really like key things. Remember at the beginning, and it was interesting because I brought it up a couple days ago, and then Megan Kelly brought up the same thing. Yeah, yesterday about the timing, how things changed so dramatically from. I think it was 11 o'clock is when they went over to the house, and then 12 something they called 911, but it was really much tighter than that. It was 11. 50 something, and then 12:03 they call, whatever, something like that. They call 911, and it was a much smaller window when the timeline came out. But the sheriff had always been saying these whole huge different, time frames and different times, and it's hard to ever just really put something together clearly when you keep having shifting information.
Right.
So it's frustrating. The whole thing is frustrating.
Yeah. And one last question, Gray, and I really appreciate you bringing me on. So I'm guessing Savannah rented another house. I doubt they're staying at a hotel, although it's possible with all the other family members. Is Tomasio or whatever his name is, do you think he's there? I haven't seen any, and this has been on my timeline and my algorithm. I haven't seen a picture of him.
I've seen a picture. Yeah, I mean, I know what he looks like, but I haven't seen him on any video or images or anything. And he hasn't. I mean, none of the spouses of anybody have shown up on any of the videos. So I don't know, and I haven't seen anybody else other than Annie, Savannah, and.
The brother.
And the brother, I think it's Cameron is his name. Yes, that's it. But I'm sure. I think they all have spouses, so we don't see them. I just think that they're kind of just relying on the siblings to communicate with the person, or whoever has her out there. But it is interesting that. Doesn't anybody find it interesting that while we have Annie, Savannah, and Cameron communicating with whoever this is, they're inside one of the siblings' homes, Annie's, taking massive amounts of photographs at nighttime, and they're not there. So they got a warrant to go in there to do that. And yet she still shows up in these things. So I think what you're sort of getting from this is they don't think that she had any knowledge, but they're interested in maybe her husband. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, and I really do. I followed Ashley Banfield for a long time. I do trust her sources. She has doubled down on it. I saw her interview with Megyn Kelly, and I watched her recent video a few hours ago. But I don't know, man. It is crazy, and I just want to say I love what you do, and
thank you.
The critical thinking approach you bring to this. I'm actually a JFK assassination researcher, and I bring the critical thinking aspect to that as well. I presented 3 years in a row at the Lancer conference, but not to say I'm some crazy conspiracy theorist, but
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like in that case, it seems like there is something else other than what we were told, but it might not even be anything different. That's the whole thing. It's like, who the hell knows? That one is a legitimate conspiracy possibility,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but everybody turns every case into a conspiracy. That's a big one because they want to have a whole different line of content they can create. It's almost like creating a clothesline out of nothing.
Right. And our podcast, I'm not going to name it, but it kind of debunks all the crazy theories that are out there. Some guy shooting from the storm drain or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The amount of craziness out there is just unbelievable. So that's why I enjoy your show. That's kind of what I'm going to weave back to. And I appreciate what you do. And I'm definitely going to. I tried gifting some memberships. It won't let me from Italy for some reason.
Yeah, I think there's some weird laws they got over there.
Yeah, I tried like every super sticker, super chat memberships thing, but it won't let me. But I have before, and I'm a member, and I appreciate what you do, and keep it going. And thank you again for having me on, sir.
All right, Joseph. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Very cool. Very cool. Hey, thanks. Hey, let's see. What do we got here? So what are you saying, extra 57 minutes? What are you talking about? What's the new timeline? What are you referring to? Is it different? But hey, guys, we have 0 gifted channel memberships on this live stream. I know some of you are different people, but my channel tries to bring in revenue, and that helps support the channel, and then we also donate thousands of dollars every single month. So if you have the ability to help support the channel, I would appreciate it. I'm not sure what you mean by that, an extra 57 minutes. What does that mean? Who's coming up with that? Right here we have, the timeline is 5:32, Nancy. I mean, we can just we can use Google Earth up here if you guys want. Let's try that. It crashed a minute ago. Okay, but I know you can type in a name all day long, Elena. This is what you do all the time. What is the new piece of information? Okay, we already have the timeline. We've had it for days now. They just did a presentation. Is there something new now in the timeline that's different than what we had before? Man, it's frustrating. People just type in, hey, great, an extra 57. What are you talking about? What are you referring to? Send me a link, give me something. If it's not something new, then we're just rehashing something but presenting it like it's something new in the chat, okay? We are all aware here. People that watch my channel know all these different things. We don't need to pretend that, hey, you just came up with something brand new by jumping into chat and going, hey, look what I just found. Yeah, it's not new. Okay. Now, if you have something that there's a whole new document that came out today that has a different timeline, then I'm interested to look at it. Yeah, we know we've gone over that too, Roger. Very dark out there. There's no street lights. It's actually something that these people want when they live in these areas, to have it be natural at night, very dark. There's no street lights. You're probably not allowed to have lights in certain areas, etc. Okay? We've gone over all that. What else? The first timeline was Sheriff. I'm not talking about the timeline by Sheriff Nanos. We went over the 57-minute change. That's not new. That's not new information. We've gone over all this. I just brought it up 5 minutes ago. Okay? I literally just said that. So we got 5:32. Nancy goes to Annie's house for dinner and plays games and took an Uber driver. Yeah, she plays Mahjong, and yes, you can play Mahjong with 3 people, everybody. She plays Mahjong, apparently, whatever, and they ate dinner, and then 4 hours later, a little after 4 hours and 10 minutes or whatever, maybe 4 hours and 16 if you want to be precise, she's already back home, noted by the garage door opening. So it's like a 10-minute drive, so, you know, they would have to leave Annie's house at 9:38, so that means she was there for 4 hours and 6 minutes or so, then drove over to her house, and then at 9:48 the garage door opens, and then at 9:50 the garage door closes. Now I'm wondering if the floodlight, they can tell by maybe some motion or activity that was disturbed at like 9:51. Then you would know that the person who dropped her off is likely the one who disturbed the floodlight. Right? Maybe that's one of the pieces of information they have out there. And then at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell, the front camera, the same area where the blood spatters on the tiles, is disconnected. And I'm not sure where the hell the article was like, oh, the software was disconnected. It was really technical. No, they just disconnected the camera. Right? And then at 2:12 a.m., the software detects a person or movement on camera, but there was no subscription to the camera, so it overwrote the video, or etc. You know, so the tech company can't find any video after looking at it again. So at 2:12, it detects motion. I actually think now that isn't a video inside the house. I think it might be one of the ones out in the backyard. So you're literally seeing, I mean, I guess if you want to see how it all went down, it's like this. Drove out, probably came up here, drove down, and then I think on one of these roads, I'm not sure which, I think this one right here, you cut down and then maybe come over. Could be like you take this one and then come in like that, right? So you come in, and got home at 9:48 as they came up to this garage right here. So it opens up, and it's open in this 3D model here. So it opens up at 9:48 and then closes at 9:50. And then the next thing that we have in the timeline is 1:47. This camera inside of there is disconnected, and there's blood there too. Now we don't know if those two events are connected in time. That just happens to be blood there. She might have been taken out there later, and it just so happens, and that's why they adjusted the camera, so that they could take her out there, right? But hey guys, and anybody guys here, when I said a minute ago that we're trying to get the support for the channel, we have 0 channel memberships gifted today. There's a lot of people in here that aren't channel memberships. Be nice to have some gifted channel memberships and super chats, etc. You know, like the conspiracy channels get. It looks like a slot machine in there. So if you guys want to help a channel that actually knows what they're doing and looks at things logically, it'd be great to see the support in here. Thank you. All right, well, let's quit talking about the band and all this stuff, you guys. Maybe we'll figure it out later, okay? But I'm just, that whole angle, I don't know, you know? Maybe that's the guy that helped him. Who the hell knows, right? So anyways, 9:48, garage door opens, and then 9:50 it shuts. 1:47, camera is disconnected in there, and then maybe at 12, let's see, at not 12, at 2:12, there was movement back here detected on this camera or even the camera that's right there. So maybe it detected movement, and it didn't record again, but it has movement, and that's what it's saying. A person is detected on camera, but there was no subscription, so the camera wrote over the video. Thanks, Simple Life Days. Everybody else out there? All right, and then at 2:28 a.m., which is 16 minutes after that detection there, it almost seems like that was out, yeah. It's hard to say, right? Did they move a car around to here, or did they take her out the back over here? I don't know. If she was taken out the back, then the blood that's on the tile here would have happened probably around the time that camera was disconnected. But to me, it makes more sense that they came in this direction through the back, because that door here is the one that was broken into. So why would you knock on the front door if you're already breaking into a door back here? Does that make sense to anybody? So I think they broke into the house, and then I think at some point they obviously injured Nancy. Then before exiting the door, they reached out, grabbed the camera, pulled it off, and then took her out to a car that was right here out the front, because it's much easier. I mean, it's very simple little, you know, you just park right there and you're out of there. Yeah, so, I mean, can anybody explain in a rational way that makes more sense that you would have to break into a back door when the theory is, by some, that there's blood on the tile here because these people knocked on the door so many times she eventually came to the door? Right, well, then why would you ever have to break in here? That doesn't make sense. What makes sense is that if you believe maybe it's a family member, after dropping off Nancy, the person comes over here and busts some, I think that light, if I remember right, isn't it right there? There's a floodlight right here. So breaks that floodlight, maybe does something else, then takes off. But Nancy's not aware. Takes off, and then later you come back, and because the floodlight's not on, the cameras here don't pick up anything either. They maybe get motion. Man, you guys, this is a totally different crowd during the day. Just expecting, you know, just people that think, oh yeah, YouTube, yeah. You know, forget it. It's amazing. Suspected. Why do you keep, let's just say the full word, you know, instead of saying SIL, just type in son-in-law, okay? Hey, thanks, Bengal Cat. Okay, there's one with new timeline information. Okay. If it's literally new, then it'll mean something. If it's not new, and I can't watch videos that people put out, so. Ah, jeez.
Now, if you're a local business owner, listen up, because I'm going to show you how to rank #1 on Google Maps and drive a...
Hey, everyone. What they know. Have you seen anyone in the about vehicles? So there are vehicles that hadn't gone to church since the pandemic and that she live streamed.
Before was that at 11 o'clock or just
we already talked about all this stuff. This isn't new, you guys. This is what I heard Megyn Kelly saying, like, oh wow, they changed it. We have the new timeline information. The sheriff was screwed up. He thought the sheriff said this was 11 here, and then an hour later the family calls police. Okay, but we know it's now 11:56 and 12:03. Megyn Kelly said 11:57. She was wrong. All right, so we have it right here. This is all here. We've had the timeline information for days. We don't need to listen to Megyn Kelly talk about it again. I'm just saying she agreed with something that I said on my show where, wow, look at that. It's much tighter now, the time between the family arriving and calling. And she even said the exact same thing that I said about, yeah, you would think they would have noticed blood on the ground and called 911 almost immediately. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Timothy?
What's up, man? Hey, I just good. Got off work. Can you hear me? Is there an echo or anything?
Nope, I can hear you.
I have my headphones in. Okay. My main thing was thinking that I don't understand, because if it was a family member that was behind it, then why did they have? If they were going to do a ransom, then why would they have to kill her? Then if the person that was like the perpetrator wasn't a fan, like she wouldn't have recognized him. You know,
well, that's why I say if it was a family member and it was a real ransom, they would probably hire somebody else to do it, because you wouldn't be able to turn in Nancy later for the money, because she'd say, "Oh, I know who did it. It was this guy."
Right.
So you'd have to hire somebody to do it. But if he went in there, and let's say there's a family member and she recognized him, and they still did this ransom thing, that means that they were never going to give her back alive anyways. So I mean, I don't know what the end game was for this whole thing. I have no idea. You know, at this point, it's just so all over the place. We don't know.
I mean, to me, the ransom just seems kind of like a diversion. It doesn't seem real. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like,
a red herring.
It doesn't make any sense. So.
Well, sometimes it just seems like a red herring. Like it's just sort of, that's what that means, a diversion. You know, you're just throwing it out. It's out there. It's something that has everybody looking at a certain thing, and it really has nothing to do with that. You know, that could be that for sure.
Like, how much was the ransom? Like $1 million?
I think it was 6.
6 million?
Yeah. That's what the last.
But I mean,
one
she
was.
makes more than that a year, though. Her daughter.
Well, she's worth 40. So, but you'd probably want to ask for something reasonable, but a lot, you know, it's a lot of money.
No, yeah, of course, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, man. Because the family already has so much money, so I don't. It doesn't make sense if it's a family member that's doing that. You get what I'm saying?
I don't know. No, I think like if you have a family member that feels like they're being slighted compared to other people, for example, like let's say, you know, they want to have money, but they're always struggling, but their sister's really rich. So what you do is extort the sister somehow.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I guess, you know, yeah, I mean, it doesn't make a ton of sense that it's a, because even if it is him hiring somebody to do a ransom, and then you end up killing her somehow, I mean, then it's just all for naught anyways. And so now it seems like that last message yesterday seemed like they were looking to retrieve her body, and that's all they really want, and they'll still pay for that. So, you know, now, I mean, we don't know. Is there going to be another, when there's a deadline, does that mean they have to put money into the account and hope? Because there's got to be some sort of, you know, quid quo pro sort of situation, right? But somebody has to be the trusting one who budges, because if you give her baddie back, are you going to send? Oh, let's say they go, here she is, now send the money. Well, then you go, well, I'm not sending you the money, right? And then on their side, if you said, okay, we'll send us the money, and then we'll show you where she is. Then they get the money and they go, we're not telling you where she is.
Right. So either way, you're right. What you're saying is someone has to be the trusting. I don't know. It's just. this case is so frustrating because there's just so much that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
the stuff makes
exactly.
sense, but it doesn't lead anywhere like definitive. Like, it's just kind of like it trails off, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks like, oh yeah, this looks like a promising direction, and then it's just like, but then it just leads to more questions. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Everything.
So it's like what?
Yeah, and then even today, you know, when you feel like you're onto something, like yesterday, they basically, I think they were really saying that they don't think she's alive. Can you send the body back? We'll pay for that. Then today, it seems like today's was an attempt to reverse public sentiment about that because, you know, people want to be looking for a live person trying to help. So they might have tried to switch that around, but they didn't even really do a great job at that either because they said, we think she's still out there. That's the same comment that the sheriff used originally. I think she's still out there. And later the sheriff said he was more definitive about like she's alive type of thing. Wouldn't you just say that more often if you thought she was alive? Like, we think she's alive. We think she's alive. Instead of, we think she's out there. I mean, yeah. You know, I mean, even if you're not alive, you're out there, right?
And that sheriff, I don't know if he's like a rookie or something, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he definitely should be talking to like the public and everything. He just doesn't seem like he's doing a very good job, like at the press conferences.
Well, he's terrible, yeah. I wonder if they have any information that something is missing from the home. I mean, that's one thing that we haven't heard anything about. Like, they've never even said, it doesn't appear anything is, you know, missing. At least I don't remember that. It's been a while now since the first press conferences.
Then I just got one more question. I mean, what do you think was going on in there for 45 minutes? I mean, that sounds more like a sexual assault kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, that's what
it
we
would
were
take
talking
45
about.
minutes.
That's what we were saying before. I mean, 41 minutes inside that house. I mean, it seems like a lot of stuff going on. Like, it's like you're going to plan all of that to do a sexual assault and then disconnect the camera out front because you know you're going to take her body out there after that. I mean, but that was the first thing. Well, we don't even know that. You know, like the thing is 147, the front door camera is disconnected. We don't know if there wasn't some. I mean, they must have got. Guys, it is sort of interesting because they don't have that other motion. You know, the motion that they got at 212 that said that there was a motion, but the video didn't record anything because they didn't pay their bill. It's sort of it's interesting. It's interesting that there isn't one prior to 147. That the first action is 147, but does that camera have the same issue? That it too would have recorded a motion, but then wouldn't have, recorded a video. But it's interesting that that's the first motion. So are they implying that that is where the subject entered the home and then later set off another camera somewhere? Because it seems like if he went through the back, he would have set off that same camera earlier. You know, like 140 or something. You know, the camera that's somewhere else in the house. It seems like he would have set that off earlier, and then made his way to the front door and disconnected it. But if he walked right up to it and then disconnected it, then that's different. So maybe he wore a mask, disconnected it, and got lucky because it never recorded a video anyways because they didn't pay their subscription.
But he wouldn't have known that, so right. Yeah.
So he would have worn a mask because he wouldn't have known that it wasn't. He wouldn't even have disconnected the damn thing.
Yeah, exactly.
He wouldn't even have disconnected it. He just would have said, "Oh yeah, well they didn't pay their bill, so this isn't. It might record a motion, but yeah."
All right. Well, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
You taking
Timothy, Cecil. All right, man. All right. Thanks for calling. All right, see you. Yeah. Yeah, it's all kind of the same stuff that we're saying. It just seems. And thanks for gifting those memberships, Coco. See if we can get some more of those. I don't know. That camera, it's just so many trees and things. I don't know. That would set off on the street. As a matter of fact, I would say no. Because look where the camera is actually at. It's right there. See, it's through here. So when it's looking straight out, the car would have to be visible here, and it really isn't. Right? So you go over there, and now you can see that entrance, but from over here where it's a straight-on shot, and that's not it there. It's right through there. Maybe right here. I can kind of see some darkness through there. I think it's right there. Well, it is relevant. The 41 minutes. Yeah, absolutely is relevant. I'm not sure where you're coming up with that. The proof is that the front door ring doorbell camera was disconnected. That's part of what happened that night. It isn't Annie disconnecting her ring doorbell. I mean, it's not Nancy disconnecting it. She's not doing that. And then her phone and her watch are left at home, and her pacemaker quits communicating with them. That means she's gone, and not of her own will. So it absolutely is important. Now, you can come up with a conspiracy theory making it not, but you're wrong. How do you like that? All right, let's see. Is there there's a ransom deadline in 1 hour and 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm sure there's coyotes and maybe a bobcat here and there, I guess. I don't know. But no, it has nothing to do with this case. You guys are crazy, man. Let's see. Nancy when she got dropped off at home at 9:50, she said, "Hey, I'm going to go on a walk, even though I can't walk more than 50 feet, but I'm going to go out in the wilderness." And then, oh my God, a bobcat attacked her. And then she crawled back into her front door and grabbed the front door camera and disconnected it accidentally. Then crawled through the home. And then one of these pack of bobcats and coyotes went running into the house and drug her back out, and then had the wherewithal to go up and push the front door shut again. Yeah, and then they decided to take the animals out the back door. Maybe that's why the back door was still open. Yeah. Okay. Common sense, logic, reason. That's what we use over here. Okay. Okay. Well, maybe we're looking for. But hey, Roger, come on! Don't take. You gave me an opening for a joke. It was funny. Yeah, maybe it was the. They could look for crows or something. I just think it's way not crows, buzzards. Long ways away. She might not be anywhere around there at all. I think it'd be crazy if she was abducted and then put like in the neighborhood somewhere. Well, by the way, there have been people that actually suggested what Roger wasn't suggesting there. They've actually come on and said that. A neighbor with lights on their house, and the kidnapper had to wait for lights out to leave out the front door. All right, you guys, I'm going to have to ask again. We need the support from the people watching the channel. We're just absolutely struggling. Have you guys noticed in here? So please, if you have a comment that you want to discuss, put it in a super chat. If you can buy some channel memberships for people who can't afford them, that would be great too. That's all I can say. I don't have a magic wand. If you guys like channels like mine who actually put together the factual information, then the way it survives is if people are tipping the channel, that's it. There isn't, there's hardly any ad revenue on live streams unless you have, thousands of viewers and it does, that kind of thing. They were resigned to being dead. Yep. Yeah, so just pretend that I'm a... You don't have to send in $10 or anything. You can do 2, 1, 2, whatever it is. It just, you know, people think, I can only do $2. And to be honest with you, if you can't afford to support the channel, I don't want you to. I want you to keep it for yourself. What we do here is we've given $283,000 to true crime-related charities in the last 6 years. And we have our own scholarship fund that we use bull.org as the place that we give the money to, and then we fund, you know, we give 3 $2,000 scholarships, so not an insignificant amount, 3 $2,000 scholarships out multiple times. This is the 3rd time, and we're already building up for the 4th time, and they have to be in criminal justice field in college. Does that mean anything to you guys, or am I just talking to dead air? Hey, thanks, Jareth King. Appreciate it. Let's see. Rhonda Walker. I know she had. Yeah. Yeah. You know what's weird is everybody keeps saying to everybody out there that everybody's saying what I was saying about that last message, and it just isn't true. I want to watch people. They don't say it. They don't say what the reality is in this message here. This message was talking to whoever sent the last message. They conveyed to the family that Nancy is not alive. They would not give proof of life. They understand that now. And they want to have her body back so they can celebrate her life. And she's there, because people have celebrations of life when they don't find a body after a certain amount of time, but they want her there, and that's the only way that they can have lasting peace. And it's so valuable to them to have that lasting peace that they'll pay for it. They're willing to pay for it. And that's exactly what I heard, and I mean, I just can't see any other different meaning in there. Man, the daytime crowd is totally different than the evening one. People support the channel during that time. It's crazy. We had just a few people. Yeah, so that's how it, you understood it after I explained it 3 or 4 times since it came, an hour after it came out. That's exactly how I explained it, and now everybody seems to have it as what they thought. Yeah. All right, let's see. Is it true Annie and Tom haven't paid? I don't know. Who cares? You know. Well, look at, there's Coco Love again. You see, look how nice she is. Thank you. I found your channel when you started shutting all the Jenkins conspiracies. You do amazing work. Hey, thank you. Yeah, you got to admit, that was, I don't think there's anything, a case that's been worse on conspiracy theories than Kanika Jenkins. You remember that person named Straight Drop, Coco? Oh my God, that guy. He would just take the video and wiggle it around on the screen. He'd go like, I'm not even sure you can do it here, but he was just like, oh, look. Oh, it was crazy. I mean, me and him were actually friends too at the end there. He's like a total, you know, he sort of saw the light at the end, you know. That was kind of cool. But he like intentionally tried to trick people. No. The Kanika Jenkins was so much worse. They had it down to, it was organ harvesting. You know, it was organ harvesting. Oh, and okay, my dad, who happened to be a nephrologist, and he would be the head of transplant units, he came from Chicago. So, of course, my dad, because I was making videos debunking everybody, and you see how it's the same thing that always happens here? Like, every time there's a case and I'm debunking the conspiracies, they always claim that I'm part of law enforcement or something, and I'm trying to sell the narrative. I'm a paid actor or something. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. You remember how I was the security guard at the Crown Plaza. I was this other guy that showed up at the desk. I was a bald-headed billionaire, and we were paying for organ harvesting. And Kanika, and one of the people actually said, "Look at the scar that Kanika has. See, they did organ harvesting." And I said, "Well, it's a scar. Do you know how long it takes for a scar to actually exist? You know?" Well, I mean, anyways, it was. Well, no, you know, if you're saying that that an organ was taken out of that incision, how come there's a scar there then? This is a picture when she was found a day later. Yeah, so this is what I deal with on social media. Just crazy, crazy people. Over and over. It never ends. But anyway, hey, thanks, Coco Love. And thanks, K-Lou there. Appreciate it. Alright, anyways. That was it. I mean, that's real stuff, though. You guys should go. I made about 100 debunking videos, all just absolutely devastating to the opposition. I mean, they were just so like, oh my God, yeah, wow. You know, even people that would believe in the conspiracies would go, man, do you see Gray's video? It pretty much destroyed the yeah. I'd see it in the comments. Maybe feel good. Maybe feel good. That's right. I was bridge guy. I was. Oh yeah. I can't remember who that. I don't remember who K was. Yeah. Well, thanks, Taylor. You mean this tea about Clinton? Huh? I don't know. I don't know what that means. All right. So let's go. Let's do the timeline again and think about stuff. Oh yeah. Also, Gray is Robert Ives. If you ask that crazy lady that was following you guys in Delphi while babbling about Summer Wells, I think it was about. I think she was babbling about the Flora fire. That's what she was yelling about. Just recently here in Portugal, there was a crime of a daughter on an actress that was kidnapped, but in the end was a past boyfriend that got into an argument. He dumped her body. You guys don't think it's a boyfriend or anything in this one, do you? I mean, that just seems really unlikely. Unless it was, I don't know. It's just not likely to me. I think somebody would have known about it. And park her car near the. All right. So here is where. Okay, let's do the whole thing in order so we just see it. And it's interesting that Circle K right there. That's where that camera footage was that law enforcement was interested in. Look at that. That's right there. You come off and boom, you go to Annie's house. All right, so Nancy's right here. I wonder if we get the. I just got some new images that I put into a folder. Let's see, where is this? Working on. Oh, there it is. All right, so this is the route. The quickest route is just like this. I don't think the route is particularly interesting because it's just, you just drive there. But I'm just saying the quickest route is like this, and it takes 9 minutes. So you drive all the way up over here, and then you cut down, and you go like that. So in this case, it is so at 5:32. She took an Uber, and I'm sure the Uber driver, although I'm not sure they care about the quickest route, probably from, I guess, here, maybe drove up. I don't know. So it's interesting how they have this. So they have her coming down, and then this street to here. Yeah, so probably drove up like this. Boom, up to there. and then it takes like 10 minutes. Came down. You would go all the way to this road here, then come down, and then it actually shows on there that you cut across like this, and then down here, which is right by the Circle K. So that would have been at 5:32. That's when she leaves the house. They must have the same information on the garage door open, or maybe not the garage door because she didn't take her car. So oh yeah, the Uber driver knows that at 5:32, he or she picked up Nancy, right? So then, so about 4:42, we could even put that in there, like I'd actually, not 4:42, 5:42. Nancy arrives at Annie's. I'm just gonna say approximate, it's approximate time, because it only takes 10 minutes. So it's 5:42 arrives here. Then they sat around in this house here. So go down to street view. Is this valuable for anybody? We're just kind of looking at it. And that's the house right there. So, the Uber driver probably drove around here and then into the driveway itself, because she probably said, "Could you drop me off in there?" Drops off here, then backs out and leaves, right? Then Nancy stays here for, let's see, probably about let's see, a little less than 4 hours. She would have got there at 5:42, and her garage door opens up at 9:48. So that means that Tomasa would have had to leave this house here at around 9:38. So back to there. They would drive like this, likely up this direction, down, and then to the house. I think the house is actually right over there. But so then you would drive all the way back home. There's the better 360 degree, 3D imagery. Drove out to here, up like that, and then looks like right there, cutting across, then down, and then right to here. And they got there at 9:48, and then 2 minutes later at 9, and that's when the garage door opened, and then at 9:50 the garage door closes. So that's likely, she entered the house through the garage door, because it's kind of easy to drive back there. You open it up and then you just go in. I'm not sure if it would be, it seems like going through the front door would be pretty close too, though. But anyways, that's what happened. And so what it means is Tomasa drove in like this, came in, probably drove up to here, if this is why the garage door is open. Drove up into this area, and then let her out after the garage door opens, and then it shuts. And then we don't know if there's other activity. They didn't mention it in any timeline, but maybe they have information that they haven't released. For example, maybe that camera right there. Oh, and that's crazy. You can actually see the solar panel and the camera there at the same, in that old Google Earth image. That's fun. Not really that old, but it's there. This is way before this event, so you can see it. Right, and then it's likely he took off, but maybe he broke a floodlight or something like that. We just don't know. And then at 1:47, somebody was at this front door. Now, if they went through the back here and broke in, there isn't any other timeline information that suggests that a camera out here picked up anything between 9:50 and 1:47. But somebody did break in here. And why would you break in here if you literally went to the front door over here and asked and knocked and knocked and knocked, and then Nancy lets you in, you attack her, and then you bring her back in the house, you would just open the back door from inside, right? So it seems like the entry into the home was from back here. And then we know that was at 1:47 when they removed the connection on the front door. So to me, it seems like they're actually at the scene at probably like 1:40 or so. And we just don't have any motion or any data to let us know that they were moving around doing anything. But if you think that they broke in through the back door and opened, and then the front door, they removed the connection of the camera, then they had to have been there before 1:47, right? Anybody paying attention? I don't see any comments related to what we're talking about. And then at 2:12 a.m., the software detects a person or movement on camera, and they didn't say where the camera was located or anything like that. So maybe it is inside the house, because if it was in the backyard, it seems like it would have picked her up before that. Maybe the back door, though, it was made to look broken. And the front door, they just removed the camera, and they didn't really think about that. But wouldn't that be interesting if they did go through the front door by knocking? I mean, it seems crazy, but you're just knocking, and it's somebody she recognizes, so she opens the door. And then, to make it look like it was a robbery, they broke through the back door, just kind of jimmied it open a little bit, but that had nothing to do with anything. So there you go. Maybe it's something like that. Anyways, and then at 2:12, there's other software. I mean, then it detects movement, and then 2:28, her phone and her watch are still at home, and it's at that moment that her pacemaker is far enough away from her phone for it not to send a message to it. And somebody said it was like 10 feet for that. And that was at 2:28. And then at 11:56, we're having one of those massive lulls again, you guys. So let's see if we can get some gifted channel memberships. We've only got 5 of those, which is one of the lowest I've ever seen in here. And then thank God for Coco and everybody else that was helping. All right, and then 11:56 a.m., the family arrives at Nancy's home. So let's show some of the stuff that somebody sent me on Facebook. Hold on a second. I'll even give him credit. Derek sent these. All right. So this is, apparently it looks kind of like this. This video will be available shortly. This is for the church. Yes, bye. Have a good Sunday. Bye. Good. God bless everyone. What a powerful message today. I mean, it's sort of interesting. Was there more chat before that? Or do they just all type at the end? But anyways, that is what it would kind of look like on the screen. And I guess this is what the sample video would look like. Contemporary worship service. Let me go look. Let me check something now. So that would have been February 1st, right? Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. So this is the actual date. Look at that. This is 8 days ago, February 1st, 2026. This is the stream. I'm wondering if they have the chat going on the side. The live chat. I don't know, usually it's right up here. They might get rid of it, yeah. How unfortunate. But this is the service here. See that? Okay, so you have that, and then you have so let's say that people from that service noticed that she wasn't there, and she normally shows up there. And let's see.
The Daily Mail today is reporting that Nancy Guthrie did not attend a church in person, and that she hadn't been for years since the COVID pandemic, that instead she'd been participating in the live stream into this church. And then they had one source at the church who told them that. The church, for the record, is not saying that on the record. They're not saying anything. They're saying we're not commenting. But they're saying there'd be no way for anybody to know who was participating in the live stream. It's not like a thing where you can see who's joining. People live stream in or they don't. Now, that would be a material change from the story that the sheriff told, which was that somebody at church noticed Nancy wasn't there.
No, I can't enlarge. Sorry.
Religious churchgoer, and that person called the family out of concern. Have you heard anything on this either way?
So the church near her house that we went to, the pastor told my producer the same thing that the Daily Mail is reporting, that she switched to online after COVID and didn't come to church on Sundays. I just assumed maybe she also went to a different church. That was just my first assumption, that maybe we had the wrong church, or that she had switched in the last couple of months, or maybe, sometimes people go to like a couple churches. Maybe she goes online to that one sometimes and likes a different one too some Sundays.
People go to two churches.
So I didn't read into it like the sheriff definitely had the wrong story. I just thought, gosh, maybe there's another church we don't know about.
Yep.
Megan's like, yeah, that doesn't sound very likely. But I'll be nice and continue on. Yeah. Wow. Why would you think that? Another church? What? Man, that is like the least likely thing that you could ever come up with. That's what I'm saying, you guys. But nobody ever challenges people like that. They just go, oh, yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's great. That's the thing is, yes, she could have been chatting on the side, and there was people that noticed that she wasn't there, and she's always there. And then they called the family. That kind of makes sense to me. All right? Because it doesn't make sense that if you're trying to come up with a story that you would tell police, yeah, the church called, and then or somebody from the church called, and have that not be true. Because that would be absolutely damning. So you would think that would be something that's real. And maybe they weren't expecting that at all. They were just going to wait days, and oh my God, now we have to get involved too soon. What's that? Alright guys, any chance you could help support the channel today? I've asked like literally 100 times. Shouldn't have to do that on these live streams. If I was a conspiracy theorist, it'd look like lit up like a Christmas tree. Let's see. Yeah, can't see the video. Yeah, maybe. Maybe if she had her location on, it would show where she was and what time and everything. Maybe she has Life 360, but she didn't take her phone with her. Got 50 minutes until the deadline. Oh boy. Let's see. I think the biggest tell is the fact that the kidnapper didn't take her meds. But we don't know that, do we? That's the whole thing, is we don't know that. Nobody's ever verified whether or not the meds were taken or not. Megan says she attended. Well, no, but he said that. I just watched it. Enton said, I always just thought maybe she went to a different church or something, you know, and maybe went to 2 different churches, and it's just a different church that this one was, you know. That's what he said. So he didn't say, like you said, Megan. He said that's just what he said. It's ridiculous. She didn't have her meds. I don't know. Let's hear an official say that there's no meds missing. How does she know that the person didn't take a certain number of pills, or, you know? Yeah, well, you know, saying she needs them is just something you say, you know. Maybe they'll run out. Don't know. Okay, most people don't, listen, most people do not attend 2 different churches. That's just a reality. I don't care if some random person, Kaylee McInerney, goes, oh, I go to 2 too, so therefore, look it, most people do not attend 2 different churches. Do you agree? Okay, the only, I mean, if I did a poll, I always get 20% that say no, because they're actually trolls that will always answer the opposite of what I'm telling. So I just give up on those. Nah. Sure, you went to 2 different, you don't go to 2 different churches at the same time. Like, hey, I'm going to this church. Now tomorrow I'm going to this church. People just don't do that. All right, Enton was way off on that one. Yeah, because it's, you know, he's the guy that said, hey, I mean, he does great, you know, he's on the scene. He gets a lot of money to be there, and he reports. Okay, so he's got good, you know, he has the ability to be able to get there. I'll give him that. But he's the one that, with the Brian Laundrie, said, when they were talking about, did an arm come out of the flower bed in that video to grab something? And he goes, I haven't been able to verify whether or not an arm came out of the flower bed. Hey, I'll tell you what, why don't you just use common sense, okay? Just use common sense, for God's sakes. An arm didn't come out of the flower bed and grab a Snickers bar when the mother walked by. It's not something that needs to be verified, all right? He was playing that she attends to different, huh? He was playing, what are you talking about, Arkansas? Let's see. I have known a few spouses. All right, guys. Maybe send in a super chat and put in a comment so we can discuss it. That's what they're for. It seems like we got to try some other techniques in here. I don't know what's happening. This is one of those shows I could sit here for hours and it'll be the same. So let's see if we can get the things moving. Yeah, what? Yeah. How on earth could you possibly think how she had a safe? Who are you talking to? But she doesn't, Joey. Family said that. And birds would give her body away. Oh, Jesus, man. Oh, God. Look at these. Gray, here's another theory. Uber driver. No, there's nothing to do with Uber. Yeah, it's not. No, there wasn't a spotter for a gang. It's an idiotic theory. that the Uber driver is a spotter for a gang. Yeah, that must be one. I hope you're just kind of goofing around telling me the crazy conspiracy theories. Yeah, that's ludicrous. So somehow she randomly got a hold of Uber and just by pure dumb luck got the gang scouter, the gang scout for a crime. Yeah. It's not plausible. It's not plausible at all. It's absolutely idiotic. Yeah, I think it's far-fetched. I think it's ridiculously far-fetched. Yeah. You know, maybe she does have another church that she goes to, and when she can't attend that one, she goes to the one that has the... she goes to the one that is streamed. No, it's a true word, self-esteem. It is idiotic, don't you think? It's not just a strong word choice. It's literally true. I'm saying what's idiotic is the theory that the Uber driver was a lookout for a gang, you know, a spotter. That to me is absolutely ludicrous, okay, and idiotic. Those are what you hear on the conspiracy channels to get everybody ginned. Oh, wow, what a great idea. Ooh, that's so interesting. And that's what they sell people on. That's their, that's what they sell. You guys know I don't do that here. So don't bring that shit up. It's garbage. My God, it's just, it's freaky. It's weird. The Uber driver is a spotter for a gang? How? Let me ask you this. How in the hell would you go to Uber, you say, I need a ride in 10 minutes. The first car shows up. So somehow she just accidentally got that? No, it doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. The Uber driver has nothing to do with anything. Okay, so what you're saying, this is what you're going to say then. The Uber driver picked her up and drove her away. Now that the driver knows that an elderly lady lives there and there's nobody there. So wait until later in the evening when she's still at home and then break in. Yeah, that's a hell of an idea. Roger, it's bullshit. Okay, sorry. Instead of giving that monster $6 million in crypto, the Guthries should raise the reward money to $6 million. Yeah. Yeah, give me something else to go on that you're going to blame the Uber driver. Just something. It's not an intelligent theory, okay? It's one of those ones that people say when they're trying to just create content of some sort. You know, I'd probably have 800 people watching if I pretended everything was interesting, you know? Right. But what they're saying, Chris, is when the Uber driver drove her to her daughter's home, that person would know, hey, an elderly person lives here. There's nobody here anymore. And then they told somebody, and then instead of going over there almost immediately, they go wait until the middle of the nighttime and break into a house that has her back in it again. Hey, self-esteem. Why do you think that's a strong choice of word? Because it just is, right? I mean, if something's idiotic, don't you say that? It's just, I mean, here's the thing: is even let's say it turns out to be true, it's still an idiotic statement because it doesn't make any sense. It's just a random, crazy thing that you got right on. It's just pure luck. There's nothing indicating that the Uber driver has anything to do with anything. You can theorize on something, but to claim that they work for a gang and they're a spotter, so they drive around, they pick people up, and they let everybody know, hey, there's nobody there now.
Whether live will appeal. Senior Pentagon official.
I don't know. Maybe I'll just come on later, you guys. This just seems, it's like I'm just sitting here spinning my wheels. This doesn't work for me. We got a lot of people that were here, then they go watch something, some other lunatic theories, and then we're not getting support for the channel. We're just sitting here spinning our wheels, staring blankly at the screen. It's just, I don't know how I can do a better show. It's been good. Got over everything that we can go over. Did you see the movie Tremors? Yeah, it doesn't look like that. Yeah, well, it's not 218, it's 212. It's the one that didn't record an image. No, what they're saying is when the Uber driver picked her up, they knew that now the house is empty with nobody in it. So somehow, but for some reason they waited till like 1:47 in the morning to go back there, making sure she was home at that point. Yeah, I don't know. That just seems weird. Like, why would you do that? I don't know where Cash Patel is. But hey, guys, any chance we can get some support for the channel going here? We've gone about 40 minutes here with 0. And I'm not sure, this channel doesn't operate like that, so if you have the ability to help support this channel, that would be fantastic. I know that you're used to going places and just staring at the screen and taking in all the content and so forth. This channel actually tries to make bring in an income and then also be able to support various true crime related charities. In fact, today I was kind of hoping to be able to donate $500 to RAIN, but this has been an absolute travesty, the support on this live stream. We've been on there for almost 2 hours and have had, I think, 4 different people support it. That's not good. Yeah. All right, let's see. Look at the desert around her house. You see the movie Tremors. Yeah, you don't have to do anything, Jareth. You're fine. Don't send anything. Let's get some other people to support it. They're always saying, "Oh, great show, great show." But forget it. Have they served any warrants in this case? Yeah, I'm sure that they had a search warrant when they went into Annie's house and took photographs. I bet you they have warrants to go in to Nancy's house, as it's a crime scene. But the thing that we just sort of keep ignoring is the fact that law enforcement was in Annie's house at night with them not there, taking photograph after photograph after photograph, documenting something. Now, I don't know why they'd be doing that if there wasn't some belief in a connection. That isn't what you do when you're just trying to clear somebody. When you're taking photographs, you're collecting evidence. It's not the same as, interviewing and talking to somebody and just making sure that, it seems legit that they're not involved. Instead, they're in there taking photograph after photograph after photograph. Now, how could there be no warrants at Annie's house? They just went in and took pictures? Okay, well, whatever it is, if you want to say a consensual, if Annie says, sure, you can come in, then that it's similar, right? Like she had permission, the judge does it in the warrant. She gave permission. Okay. I can take that. I can buy into that. I'm sure Annie gave permission to go in there. I bet you the other person didn't give permission. Uh-oh, we got a troll in here, you guys, and you didn't remove the trolls. Thank you. Thanks, mods. Man, you guys wait way too long on stuff like that. Sorry about that. We always get these trolls that are just absolute nut jobs. Oh, cool. Hey, thanks, Carl. I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to do another full... I mean, because the thing is, this stream, we got another 40 minutes until there's a deadline, and then I'm sure, you know, it's just really frustrating. Incredible. Completely staged. I still don't think she ever made it home. Okay. All right. Yeah, they put her blood into a water bottle sprayer and sprayed it around, make it look like expirated, and then dripped a few little bit. You guys are crazy. All right. Let's see. What is the current theory from start to finish? What is my adult? You want me that for $1.99? It's okay. I'm just kidding. I don't really have a. Yeah, the trolls will take that. Oh, look at Grayson. Look what he was. It's okay. I'm just gonna. I've done the theory 4 times on the show already. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, Gray. Yes. Amen. But watch. Mark my words. The trolls. They're always watching for something they can take out of context and play it again. And let everybody think something. I guess the theory would be that it's somebody that Nancy knows, maybe even a family member who they don't have the funding. They bought a new house, let's say, and kind of struggling a little bit. So they were looking for a way to increase their income, about money. And I'm just going to keep going with the original theories that a family member hired somebody else to go in and abduct Nancy and maybe try to get a ransom. But the whole thing about her dying is maybe not being alive and having the blood and everything. That's the part that makes it kind of confusing a little bit, a little strange. Hey, thanks, Sarah Shroom. And sorry for whoever out there got to have this crazy nut job put in the offensive letters that shall never be spoken here. Okay. So I apologize if anybody saw the trolls' comments that they wrote. All right. I don't have any control of it, or moderators are supposed to jump on that and get rid of that kind of stuff. I saw it as he was typing and didn't have time to go over to the other monitor over here and block the person. Yeah. So after they abduct, so you hire somebody. Let's just do a theory without having roadblocks. There's roadblocks, but I'm not going to mention them. So you hire somebody to abduct a family member so that you can do a ransom, using crypto, something like that, or you have them go over there to take her life and then eventually get inheritance, but her body would have to then show up somewhere. Okay, so the part that makes everything so that would be the theory. All right. Okay, so the theory would be something like that, like you either abduct her to kill her and then eventually have her body show up somewhere, but it's a third party that's not associated with her, or anything, and then eventually you'll gain from her death. The second one would be, the other angle would be the ransom. But it's crazy that they sent ransom to all these local newspapers and TMZ, breaking outside of the local newspaper chain because they want it to be really a big splash out there. Now, maybe that was a head fake to the actual just being hired to kill Nancy. So you can look at it like that. Somebody hired somebody to enter Nancy's house and kill her and put her body somewhere. And then the ransom stuff is all a red herring to get everybody's attention on that and take it away from and give more time to the actual perpetrators of doing that, right? But see, there's always the things in this case. That's why it's so frustrating, is you can't just go, oh yeah, okay, boom, oh, yep, boom, 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 and then put it all together. Because in this one, you have the people that are, you got the ransom notes, and they're sending them out to the news stations. And if it's a family member, and you looking for inheritance, you have to have the body show up for insurance to pay out. And that means if you're part of the whole thing, the family member, and Nancy saw you, then necessarily you would have to kill her in either situation. If you're going for a ransom, or if you are, you're showing up there to do something else, who knows, but she has to die in a situation like that because she'll tell everybody that it's you. So it's just, that's a cluster, you know what. This is crazy. All right, is that good enough? And if you want to get really direct stuff, it's just, we already have the timeline. 147, the ring doorbell breaks. I think the person came through the back door first. See, what's weird is even everything else is well, what if, but usually you have everything dialed in and it makes sense. This is 147 is the first interaction where we believe somebody's there late in the evening and they're disconnecting the doorbell camera. So that's the first thing they did. And if that's true, then why in the hell would they break? See, this is one of those contradictory pieces of information. If that's true, then why did they go back here and jimmy this door, forced entry into the back door there? Why'd they do that? Because over here, that means they just would have been let in and they attacked Nancy, and that's her blood on the ground, as they went in and then brought her back inside and then took her out this way into a car and then left. But that doesn't make sense because this was broken open. Now, then you might say, well, hell, maybe they just wanted to look like it was broken into over here and remove this camera and then took her out that way later and then got in the car and drove away. Yeah. And we know it was about 41 minutes of time. Hey, thanks, Body Blow Biscuit Butter. Hey, some of the regular freaks are showing up in here. All right. Thank you. And there's Timber Gecko. When has a ransom been legit on modern true crime? Yeah. It is a little bit strange, isn't it? I think somebody's communicating with them, and I think they've been able to sort of basically verify that they were there. And they're really just keeping this conversation going to distract law enforcement. Hey, look at that. It's Hilson House of Crazy. How's it going? But that doesn't make sense there, Snickle, because remember how the garage door opened at 9? See how there's always something? That was pretty good. I liked what Snickle was saying here. They said broke in the back and ambushed her when she came in. Therefore, they could take the camera out and they attacked her and there's blood there. However, the contradictory information is that at 9:48, and this is the time right after they said that she was driven home, 9:48, the garage door opens, and then at 9:50, the garage door closes. See? So that means she went into the house through the garage door. So when would they ambush her? Because at 1:47 is when... Oh, you got an echo? What do you mean there's a bad echo? How about now? Is there an echo now? Testing one. I still have my... How about now? Is it echoing now? Have I been echoing to everybody here? Okay, it's on your end then. All right. It's on your end. Yeah, if nobody else was complaining about echo, that's you. I... Man, this is the most active you guys have been. To tell me, no, I haven't been... No, you haven't been echoing. No, 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 no. Gray, you haven't been echoing. Gray, you haven't been echoing. No, 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 no. Gray, you haven't been echoing. Gray, you haven't been echoing. Gray, you haven't been echoing. No, 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 no. Gray, you haven't been echoing. Gray, you haven't been echoing. No, 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 no. Gray, you haven't been echoing. 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 You know what's interesting is if one of you doesn't have echoing, then that means none of you have echoing. So it's usually the one that says it's echoing who's having the problem. Like when people are in the chat and they say, I can't hear anything. Is it quiet for everybody else? And it's like, yeah, we've all been sitting here for an hour in complete silence, even though none of us have told him that in the comments so far. Well, you probably at that point realize it's just you. You haven't turned up the volume on your headphones yet. Hey, all right. Thanks for joining. Steve Hammondtree. There you go. Steve Hammondtree. That's kind of a cool name. Let's see. Gray, you're so mean. Why did they smash the camera in the family if the family already knew they weren't well, how would they know that they weren't operational? Let me ask you something, see-through. What makes you believe the family was aware that the cameras weren't operational? Wow. I don't even know if I have a jail anymore on here. I think I got rid of... Wait. Oh, there I am. I'm in prison. Oh! I got thrown in prison by Wendy Woobles. Who the hell's bailing me out now? Holy crap. This might take a long time. Wow. All right. Who's bailing? Who's bailing? Got to get bailed out of here. We need a Snickers bar. We need whatever the hell it is. I didn't even know I had that jail anymore. Thought I got rid of it. All right, Wendy's. Wendy, you better, you got to help get us out of here. You're the one that threw me in. Yeah, this could take a long time given what we've been seeing tonight. It's not AI, Joey. I'm not echoing. Oh, because I'm in jail? Yeah. No, you have to do it, Wendy. You're the one that threw me in here. Yeah, we got KMTX, KME. That's part of the bail. All right. There's something. Yeah, yeah. Well, it's on her Instagram. Doesn't mean it couldn't have been. I know it sucks that I get thrown in prison and not one of you guys are. Okay, there's. How much to get me out? I don't know. How about $30? We're at 4 now. That'll get us out of there. If we get 5 gifted memberships, I'll get out of here. How about that? Hey, there's a bar of soap from Wendy Woobles. Not soap on a rope, though, huh? Yep. All right. All right, look at that. Ooh, look at that. So we got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 21. We just need 9 more, you guys. Not bad. About a year ago, on 84, an 84-year-old woman went missing near me. They entered by removing the AC unit, stole items, assaulted her. The body was found a week later. She ended up being targeted by a sick neighbor. That's an interesting one. Can you send me a link on that? That's crazy. Passing the hat for supervised released. Release. Let's see. 2, 6, 9, 11, 21, 20, 6, 31. Hey, there you go. Boom. I'm out of here. Thanks, freaks. We got out of there. We got Wendy Woobles, then we got C. Serlin, then we got Tiffany and Whiskey Boots. Help get the bastard out. The bass turd. Hey, it's a bass turd. You know, like the bass, the fish. And then Self-Esteem, Wendy Woobles, Rot Hound, and KMTX. All right. Very cool. Thanks, guys. Well, you guys, we have 18 minutes to go here. Yeah, I was put in prison before the suspects. Good point. Isn't that crazy? Hey, thank you, Deidre Grayson, the son of Gray. I swear to God, it's not my kid, okay? It's not my kid. I've had people call me Grayson before. They go, Grayson! I go, no, it's just Gray. You know, I was thinking about, like, YouTube, you know, the whole no tax on tips, you know, on YouTube? Well, see, the problem with my attorney, apparently you're supposed to be able to write off 25, you know, it'd be like a deduction of 25,000. It's not, there's no such thing as no tax on tips. It just means that you reduce, like, let's say you made 100,000 and 25,000 was tips. Now you get taxed on, well, I guess it is kind of like no tax on tips, but you get taxed on 75,000. But the problem with YouTube is whenever everybody that makes money on YouTube, they give you a 1099 miscellaneous, and they put it all on number 2, which is what's it called? It's called royalties. Like, they have it under royalties. So my accountant's like, well, how do you know? I'm saying, well, it says on YouTube or Google, if you type it in, that you can subtract it out and make sure everything, you know. I don't know. Sounds kind of shitty. And YouTube never answers their phone. They don't even have a phone. There's nobody you can talk to, etc., etc., etc. Dumb. Hey, thanks, Timothy Cecil. Gray has been called Greg, Gary, Ray. You forgot Jim. I'll respond to Craig, Gary, Jerry, and sometimes Jim. I bet Koberger is following this case. I think the buy me a coffee, though, I don't think those are doable. I don't know. YouTube's just, man, they don't make anything easy for people. It's crazy. It looks like there's a shooting at a Maryland high school. 1 student wounded and suspect in custody. Okay. Can you call me Eddie? I don't know about that. All right, I gotta go use the facilities, you guys. So, all right, I'll be back here in just a minute. Now we'll just see what happens right at the deadline. All right. All right, just a second.
Stupid is being nice. Stupid is being...
All right. Well, after 40 people left because they just can't sit around for 2 minutes while somebody uses the restroom. And look, I did flush the toilet. Did I wash my hands? I guess that's the question we all have at this point. Yeah, just don't call me late for dinner. Gross what? You want me not to flush the toilet, Inspector? Is that what you're saying? Oh my God. It sounds like Inspector of Gadgetry doesn't ever flush his toilet and thought it was gross when somebody flushed the toilet. Wow. That's unbelievable. No, I don't work with any of those people. They're some of the worst when you call them creators that there ever were. One of them's an actual con. He's literally, what does he do? He's got the Guinness Book of World Record for suing people. He's pretended to be different people, and you guys all lap it up like it's good stuff. I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah. I was actually thinking going there myself, but I don't know. It's just, I don't really want to be part of the melee with these wackos. They don't know anything more than anybody else either. They're just there, you know. We can see everything on videos, cameras, everything. If I went there, I'd probably do some interesting, you know, useful things. I have a drone. I've got a 360-degree camera that I could film stuff and share with people. You'd be able to actually see what the hell's happening. But, you know. Let's see. Where the heck is that? Trying to find my watch battery thing. She got rid of it. Battery's about dead. Hold on. Yeah, boy. That's not good. We'll try. Alright, there we go. Alright, we're clock's ticking away. I mean, I've been doing YouTube for, I don't know, God, live streaming for 9 years. And I know who some of these people are from my time. Now, I have a lot of trolls that attack me because on my show I say, hey, everybody, if you could help support the channel. And I get frustrated when people aren't supporting the channel because I work really hard to put everything together, and it's frustrating when people aren't doing that. But they think it's bad that I get frustrated, and I don't think that at all. Nobody's required to give me a nickel, okay? If you have the ability to, that's awesome, you know? And you guys are why we're able to do all the great stuff that we did throughout the year. In fact, the amount of money that we donated last year is very similar to the amount of super chats that came in. I mean, it literally is almost the same number, you know. And then the channel makes an income on other things, but here, hold on a second. I'm doing a show, but let me show you what it looks like. It sort of looked like that, but it's a real small square that you set it on. It was over here. Don't worry about it. I'll try to find it. It was right here, though. No. Not that. Oh well, we're just looking for a charger for my watch, but I have a backup one over here. If you're wondering why I'm moving around over here. There it is right there. You had it underneath my keyboard. You put it under my keyboard. God. You did too, because you put it there. Okay. Alright. Alright. There it is. It was like a wire underneath my keyboard. You know how like you put stuff the way you have it, and then somebody comes in and they move everything around, and they quote organize it for you. Yeah. Oh, we got 4 minutes. 4 minutes now. Yeah, that's what I would say, Jared. Yeah. It's that's what I feel bad about. Some other people just can't be bothered, you know. But other people are always saying, "Oh, they believe in my channel and help support it," you know. And that's the only way to survive, to be honest with you. Because the ad revenue on live streams, this whole live stream that we're doing right here might be $8, you know. And that you can't live on that. It doesn't work. What do you mean the Amazon delivery person? What are you talking about, Joey? You mean the van that was driving around that people said they didn't know what van it was? Or whose car it was? Who said there was an Amazon delivery there? No, we found the charger. It's right here. It was underneath the keyboard. Yeah, I mean, we go over this all the time, but I mean, the truth, this is what the deal is here. Look. So we've given $283,000 since January of 2020. We did $22,000 the first year we started doing this. And this is just donations out of the income from the channel. Then we've got $42,000 in 2021, $62,000 in 2022, $57,000 in 2023, $49,000 2024, and $46,000 in 2025, and we're just starting this. We're at $3,000 this year so far. So there you go. All right. I didn't get an email from you. I didn't get an email from you, Kubi. I'm not sure what you guys are referring to when you say look at. Was the sheriff is making a statement today? Where? Well, I hope they watch my streams if they want to actually have an idea of what actually, the family knows a hell of a lot more than us, so they shouldn't be watching anybody. I gotta move this. I think she moved my camera over too, so it's kind of. What are you guys talking about? Lisa, you just said something and then now it's gone. I'm not sure. Maybe I can zoom in. Oh, go right there. There we go. There we go. I make 3D anim. Well, I do 3D animations, but I only do them in cases where you need 3D animations. This isn't one that has a 3D animation. If you give me if they gave us a blow-by-blow of what happened inside the house and a picture of inside the house, I could make something. But we don't have any of that stuff. There has to be certain elements of a case to work. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, did he make the statement to him? Or is there a place on their Facebook page that he made a statement? Okay, well, send it. I'll play the audio of it if you can send it over. Do you have it just the statement, or is it him rambling on like he always does? Do you have that? As of 4:53 p.m. Mountain Time on Monday, February 9th, the Pima County Sheriff's Department has issued a new update confirming that there are still no suspects, persons of interest, or vehicles identified. Identified. They always use the word identified at the end. Right. Yeah, that means that you haven't identified them to us. Okay? But right. They're not identified to us. Okay, I just read it. It's right there on the screen, right? The one that Vivian just put, so I can just do that, right? The update is that there's no update. I guarantee you they have people of interest. And when they say they don't have, that there's no suspects, persons of interest, or vehicles identified. I have a hard time believing that. With all the technology that's out there. I mean, it'd be so easy, you know? I mean, right now it's past the deadline. We're 1 minute past the deadline. And so what does that mean? Did they pay the ransom? Because that's all the deadline was, right? Okay, well, whoever, Vivian didn't put in that there were new leads up there. Does anybody have the statement itself? And how come it's not on their Facebook page? The statement. Wouldn't you put it there? A tweet. Okay, let me go look. Hey, thanks, Kimmy and ML Mlin. Okay, so this is 9 minutes ago. Maybe I should store this so we can look at it. Hold on. Alright. Says investigators have not identified any suspects, persons of interest, or vehicles connected to Nancy Guthrie. Anyone who believes they have information that may assist investigators is asked to contact a phone number. And then that was 9 minutes ago. 12 minutes ago, it says there are no press briefings scheduled at this time regarding Nancy Guthrie. Should a significant development occur, a press conference will be called, and media will be notified via email. Where's the part about new leads? Where's that? Where's the part about the new leads? If Brian Enton was reading something, where does it mention new leads? Because I'm looking at their Twitter right here. Yeah, I've already got, which one are you talking about? Says they are following up on new leads and we can expect to see an active law enforcement presence at Guthrie residences. So far, I have not noticed anything at all. Yeah, but where are they saying this in the new statement? It doesn't exist. I just read the statements. All right, let's see.
Hey guys, all right, so there's a new statement from the Pima County Sheriff's Office. I'm going to read it to you. It says, we do not have any additional information to release publicly this afternoon. The investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance remains active and ongoing. We understand the significant public interest in this case. However, investigators need time and space to do their work. If and when relevant information becomes available, it will be shared. They say there's going to be no press briefings scheduled right now unless something happens. And then they say many of you observed an active law enforcement presence at the Guthrie residence over the weekend. Yes, we did. That activity will continue tonight and into tomorrow as part of the ongoing investigative process, including the expansion of the search and follow-up on new leads. So that's interesting there. I don't know if we're going to see them coming back out here. This is all part of the investigative process as the search for Nancy.
Can somebody find this for me? Like, where is this coming from? Like, it's not on Twitter. It's not on Facebook. It's nowhere. This whole statement that he's reading here. Where is that coming from? Anybody know? I thought this was really interesting, though. If that's really what was said, is that they're following up on new leads, and they're still at the same houses looking around. Both of them. Okay, so that means, Nancy's daughter and other family members are being looked into at this point, right? There's nothing in there that indicates they're not looking there.
Guthrie residence over the weekend. Yes, we did. That activity will continue tonight and into tomorrow as part of the...
No, you don't know what I'm saying, Kubi. Where is the statement that law enforcement put out? They didn't just send it to him.
Ongoing investigative process, including the expansion of the search and follow-up on new leads. So that's interesting there. I don't know if we're going to see them coming back out here. This is tomorrow as part of the ongoing investigative process. That activity will continue tonight and into tomorrow.
Yeah, the activity will continue tonight and tomorrow at these same locations.
Part of the ongoing investigative process, including the expansion of the search and follow-up on new leads. So that's interesting there. I don't know if we're going to see them coming back out here. This is all part of the investigative process as the search for Nancy expands and new leads come in. To preserve the integrity of this criminal investigation, details of that process are not being released at this time. It's interesting that they say new leads are coming in.
Let me just type in. Let me type in words that he's saying and see if we can find it.
That's kind of the latest from the Sheriff's Office. I'm going to read it to you. It says, "We do not have any additional information to release publicly this afternoon. The investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance remains active and ongoing. We understand the significant publicly this afternoon. As we do not have any additional information to release publicly this afternoon. The investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance remains active and ongoing. We understand the significant public interest in this case. However, investigators need time and space to complete this afternoon. The investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance remains active and ongoing. We understand the significant public interest in this case. However, investigators need time and space to do their work. If and when this afternoon. The investigation into Nancy Guthrie's disappearance remains active and ongoing. We understand the significant public interest in this case. However, investigators need time and space to do their work. If and when relevant information becomes available, it will be shared. They say there's going to be no press briefings scheduled right now unless something happens. And then they say many of you observed an active law enforcement presence at the Guthrie residence over the weekend. Yes, we did.
Any of you have observed an active... forget it. I'm done looking. I don't know where he got whatever he's reading. Closely with Tucson station like KVOA News. Right. I just don't know where that information is coming from. It's not on Twitter. It's not on Facebook. Where is this statement? Maybe it was emailed, like if you're on their emailed list or something, where he gets to be because he's part of was it News Nation or whatever the hell it is. Let's see. The Sheriff's Department works closely with Tucson. Yep.
It ended up being,
I think if they're trying to get it for inheritance, they put her somewhere where she'll be found when it's springtime.
At the home of the sister and brother-in-law. Yeah, they're doing that, but that doesn't mean that they're necessary.
Yeah, so there's the deadline is passed. Is anything else coming out? Yeah. Anyways, maybe I'll take a break for a while and come back on later. Unless something big happens. We've already been on there for 2.5 hours. Didn't make the goal. So maybe we'll have to try it again later. See what happens. Why? I'm right here, Lisa. I've already looked into all that. I don't know. I think you have to be one of the news stations. You don't need to passively talk to me. Jesus. Have you heard about the tracking? Yeah, I've heard about tracking Bitcoin accounts. Sheriff's Department works closely. Yeah, we keep seeing the same. So nobody's really typing in here. So I'm going to go ahead and maybe come back on a little bit later. All right. So thanks to Self-Esteem, and then we had Elaine Talling, Top Secret to You, April Star, Stacy Von Bratt, Simple Life Days, Bengal Cat, and we had Coco, Love, Gifted 5, and Jareth King, and then Coco Love did a cat eye. Without her, we would just been, I mean, it'd been just awful, you know. Kay Lou, and then we have Timothy Cecil, then we have Steve Hammondtree, Sarah Shroom, Body Blow Biscuit Butter, Timber Gecko, Steve Hammondtree, then we have Walker Homestead, KMTX, Rot Hound, Wendy Woobles, Self-Esteem, Whiskey Boots, Tiffany, C. Serwin, and all the rest of you guys made it so it was, you know, got to some number. It's not even, you know, it's nowhere near just a regular minimum nightly. So we had Wendy Wibbles, then Deidre, Grayson, Timothy Cecil, Kimmy, and M. Lynn 8388. All right. Oh, look at that. There's Marine Co. right at the end there. Yeah, I don't think there was anything that came in as usual, other than just the super chats and memberships, etc. But anyways, thanks everybody. I guess we'll have to figure out if something happens or not. Nothing seemed to happen right at the buzzer there, but maybe there's communication going on and maybe something will be happening. We don't know, but a little disappointed. It doesn't look like YouTube put me into the algorithm today. Or not, or maybe people are just used to me doing my later night shows, but yeah, it's crazy. But if you find where that statement came from, let me know. All right, thanks everybody. See you later, and be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now, and during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grader's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a specter with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so hey, thanks again. Special thanks to Coco Love. Thank you so much. All right, see you guys later.